Hey there, it's Olivia Savannah here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you my September TBR. So we've got a lot of books here. We've actually got 33 books. Am I going to read 33 books in 1 month? No. I'm still going to show them all to you regardless, and we can talk about them. They're split into different categories, and I'm going to try and read as many of these as I can, and we'll just see how we go from there. The first 11 books I have to show you are books that you guys chose for me. I showed you my entire TBR and I asked you guys to vote for which books you wanted me to choose, and there were definitely some that stood out more than others. I've got them here in order of most voted to least voted, and that's the order that I'm going to go through reading them. So let's get started. As usual with my TBRs, I won't exactly tell you what they're all about, but why I'm excited for them rather, because I don't like getting synopses wrong of books that I have not read yet. So the first book that you guys chose for me, which won by a clear amount of the most votes by far, which was The Martian by Andy Weir. So I know that this one is about a guy who goes to Mars with a team and somehow he gets left behind and he's the only one on Mars and he's just trying to survive up there. Everyone seems to love this book, and I haven't read a lot of science fiction recently, so I am very much looking forward to reading this, and it's one that I'm starting today. Second most voted one was The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is a enemies to lovers romance, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. I am excited. I recently hauled this one, so it's great to just get to it as soon as. And now for all of the rest of these, they all got an equal amount of votes, so they're just all the other ones that you guys most voted for. We've got The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. This is one of the oldest books on my TBR, and I do have a buddy read for this. I'll talk to you about all of my buddy readers in my wrap up so you know who they are and everything, but I am going to slowly be buddy reading this one throughout the first week of this month. Then we've also got The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, and I know that this one has to do with Greek mythology, and I was originally very excited to read this one, but then I saw a lot of negative reviews which made me a bit more anxious to read it, and that's why I haven't picked it up yet, but I will definitely be giving it a go this month. And again, I have a buddy read for this one going on. The next one you chose was One Day by David Nichols, and I believe it spans across 20 years and it's one day where they're together across all of those 20 years. I could be wrong, but that sounds interesting to me. Up next we have The Power by Naomi Alderman, and I am very much looking forward to getting to this one because I think nearly all of my sisters have read it and really recommend it. It's in a world where women have this power which causes intense pain in men, and it kind of shifts up the gender roles in the world because of this, and that sounds really curious to me. I've seen it compared to The Handmaid's Tale, and it's even got Margaret Atwood saying that it's electrifying on the cover, so that gets me excited. Then we have Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. I've not read anything by Zora Neale yet, but I have heard really good things about this book. It's supposed to be absolutely beautiful, and I am actually very excited to read this one. I'm so glad that you picked it for me. Another one that you guys picked for me that I was really excited to read is Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo, and I have been seeing loads of positive things for this one. Everyone seems to really enjoy it who gets to it, and it sounds like it's going to be emotional and deep, and it's about this couple who really want to have a child, and while it's not working out, their family decide that maybe they should get a mistress for the husband so that they can have the child, and that sounds like it's already going to be a lot to read about. Getting on to 3 books that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish this month, but maybe I can start them. The first one is The Final Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn series. This one was also very popular in the votes, and it's just big, which I find personally intimidating. But I have heard really good things about Brandon Sanderson's work, and I haven't read anything by him before, so it would be very interesting to do so and finally give his works a chance. And then we have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I was actually hoping this one wouldn't get so many votes because I was just burned by Pride of the Orange Tree, which I've talked about more in my last month wrap up, which I'll link up above and down below. But I did own this one before Pride of the Orange Tree, so I guess I'll be giving Samantha Shannon another chance. And I do like to give authors more than one chance, so hopefully if I do read this one it will be better than Pride of the Orange Tree, and I have heard that if you don't like Pride of the Orange Tree you might like this one more. So that's promising. And then last but not least, I was very surprised that the 11th book that you guys voted for me most to read was Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, which is a huge classic. but I have heard really good things about everyone who takes the time to actually read this one. So I am looking forward to reading it. Maybe I can take this one slowly throughout the month by myself, read little by little, and I might finish it, or it might be one that I carry over into the next month. Then we've got my buddy reads. So I did mention that I'm buddy reading some of my main novels, but I have got a buddy read set for every single week in September, as well as a few that are going much slower throughout the month. So I've got another 4 books here that I'm buddy reading. The first one is Beartown by Fredrik Backman, which I do own a physical for, but I just don't think I brought it into this room with me. So I'm buddy reading Beartown by Fredrik Backman with Cara from Wild Book Garden, and we are halfway through and I am absolutely adoring this book. I think I'm going to love it by the end of it. Then we've got another 4. So the first one we have here is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I'll be buddy reading this with a Bookstagrammer, and I really loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo last year, and this seems to be her second most popular novel, so I am looking forward to giving it a go. I think it's got something to do with a rock band and I'm excited. After that we have Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. This is one that's been on my TBR for a very long time, and I think it made an appearance for another readathon that I was planning to do this year, but I never got around to reading it, and it's just time I get to it. And I have a buddy reader who also has been meaning to read this one for a very long time, so we are going to read this one together and encourage us to get it off of our TBRs once and for all. Then last but not least, you can probably guess this one, it's the next Artemis Fowl book, and I'm going to be buddy reading this with Guy Rathina again. Oops. And I'm going to be buddy reading this with Guy Rathina again. We have been reading our way through the entire series and having so much fun doing so, so I'm going to continue on with the next book. Okay, so the next books I have to show you are some review copies that I really do need to get to. The first one is Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. I did start it, it's just going a bit slow for me, and this one is a family saga kind of one, and it's following the author's mother and her mother's life and just going through that. So it's quite a big book and I do really need to get to that one this month. I also would really like to get to The Deep Blue Between by Ayesha Haruna Atta. I was meant to get to this last month and it does come out in October, so it would be very good to be able to read it and share my thoughts with you in a wrap up before October begins. And this one follows these 2 sisters who get separated. One of them lives in Africa and the other one lives in Latin America, I believe, and it's about them having these connected dreams that they share with each other, and yeah, I'm curious to see how that's all going to unfold. And then the last review copy I have here is The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mantell, and this one follows a range of characters who are all living very different lives, but they get interwoven together, and I believe it has something to do with The Glass Hotel. This one was sent to me by Book Break and I'm very much looking forward to giving it a read this month. Okay, so now we've got some inevitable staples that I just have to talk about that will be read for sure this month. The first one is, this is the complete collection of Shakespeare, and I'm going to make Shakespeare Sundays a thing for me. I have read 2 plays last month, or like 2 works of Shakespeare on a Sunday, and I think I'm going to try and just continue that for the rest of the year, reading some Shakespeare on Sundays. So for this month I want to read 3 plays, and those are going to be Henry VI Part 1, Henry VI Part 2 and Henry VI Part 3. I love to read them all back to back in a month, 1 a week, and that's just gonna happen. Then it's inevitable that I'm going to be reading my book for my Read It Backwards series. So this month we'll be reading Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. This is the last one in the Twilight saga, but it's actually the first book, but it's the last one I'm going to be reading, and it's actually my favourite in the series, so I'm looking forward to that and finishing off the Twilight portion of my Read It Backwards series. And then we also have 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. So I did say a long time ago that I'll make a video where I compare 50 Shades of Grey to Twilight and actually read 50 Shades of Grey. I wondered if anybody was interested in that, and the response was an overwhelming yes, so I'm actually going to do it, seeing as I'll be reading Twilight for Read It Backwards anyway. And I also said I wouldn't do it if I couldn't get this book for free, because I was not going to spend my money on 50 Shades. And when I visited my sisters, they had a copy in their house even though no one's read it, so I was like, can I borrow that for a video? And they said yes. And here we are. Last but not least, I'm going to do some shout outs to my current reads that I started last month. Last month I really had a problem where I just started a lot of books and didn't happen to finish any of them. So I'm just going to read you their titles and say how much I'm enjoying them or not. And I don't know if I'm going to get to them or not this month, but I'm just going to put them on this list, and if I finish one, I finish one, and if I don't, I don't. First of all though, I forgot to mention in my inevitable going to get to them, I've also got A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book in the Darker Shade of Magic series, and I'm going to be reading this because I'm participating in the live show for the Darker Shade of Magic read-along that is being hosted by Sabine from Sabine's Book Nook and Yasmin from Yasmin the Reader, so I'll definitely be reading A Gathering of Shadows next month. For my current reads, first of all we've got Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I mentioned needing to wait until my love for Jasper had abated a bit, and it successfully did so. So I read a little bit further and I just didn't get that far, still within the first 100 or so pages, so I need to continue with this. Then we have Sabriel by Garth Nix. If you watched my Chloe Ting challenge and reading challenge videos, you'll know that I was buddy reading this. However, my buddy reader dropped off the radar and DNF'd it, so after she DNF'd it, I kind of just didn't pick it up again. I should continue though because I'm well over 100 pages in. The Travelling Cat Chronicles is one that I started for Draconathon and I enjoyed, but I didn't get that far in and I need to continue. This is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, and I was buddy reading it with one of my friends over on Instagram and we were both enjoying it. However, she's been hit by university and is just going through a little bit of a difficult time, so we haven't been able to continue our buddy read, and I have to admit my mood just switched from fantasy completely and I wasn't in the mood to read any more fantasy, so it was kind of put on pause for both of us, and I wonder when we'll pick it up or if I'll just be picking it up by myself at some point, but I do want to continue it. It was good, it was off to a good start, but maybe like over 100 pages. Oh my gosh, I'm almost halfway. I should really finish this. Then we have Real by Alexis Hall. This is one of my favourite books and it's my favourite new adult book, and I was rereading it. I was rereading it a little bit before bed every single night, but then we went on holiday and it kind of disrupted my doing that reading before bed, but it was really good to read a bit before bed every night of something I knew that was familiar that I could fall asleep to, and I was loving my reread in physical form. I'm about halfway, so I'll probably continue picking this up right before bed again and have fun with that. Then we have Afrofuturism by Natasha L. Womack. I am reading this for my dissertation and it's a non-fiction one, and I'm getting a lot of good notes from it, which is why it's taking me some time to read. Usually with my dissertation fiction reads, I read the whole book and then type up all my notes. However, with this non-fiction one, I was just pulling so many notes, I'm typing up my notes as I read, which means it's just going much slower, but I am really getting so much content from this one. I'm so glad I picked it up. We also have Slay by Brittany Morris. I am enjoying this and I am also reading it for my dissertation. However, it's not gripping me quite as much as I expected, and I think I hyped this one up a little bit too much for myself, but I am going to continue it because I have to for my dissertation, and it is good. It is really good, but I think I'll explain my thoughts a bit more about why it was more hype for me than I expected in the wrap up. Then I started Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn and I got quite a bit of the way in. I'm at like page 100. But here's the thing, I'm not really loving it. I don't like any of the characters, and as a character driven reader I really struggle when I don't like any of the characters. So, but I want to know what happens. I really want to know what happens, so I'm just pushing through, but I'm going a bit slow with this one. Last but not least, I'm still mostly halfway through It by Stephen King. I'm probably not going to finish this one in this month because I'm waiting for my best friend in real life. She is currently reading this one. She reads a bit slower than me and she is halfway to where I am at, so I'm just waiting until she gets to where I'm at and then we're going to just buddy read it slowly the rest of the way, because I don't think this is a book I can finish if I don't have a buddy read for it, and the fact that she's already reading it means that we can just meet each other and then continue together, which is perfect. And there you have it. Those are all 33 books. This is a huge TBR. We'll see how much I have or haven't read by the end of the month. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Have you read any of these, or did one of the ones you voted for win? And what are you planning to read this month? Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. And don't you forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior. The Martin.